The weird side of YouTube represents a massive, collective cultural phenomenon experienced by millions of internet users over the decades. It refers to that specific moment when a viewer falls down a digital rabbit hole, usually late at night, transitioning from mainstream media to highly surreal, avant-garde, or completely nonsensical videos. This corner of the platform is fueled by the site's recommendation algorithms, which historically chain together obscure, low-view uploads, avant-garde art projects, and bizarre home videos. Users often find themselves fascinated and slightly unsettled by how deeply detached this content is from ordinary media, making it a foundational shared experience of early internet culture. Fake anti-piracy screens is a thriving creative community trend and subgenre of analog horror, where digital animators design fictional copyright warnings for retro video games. These videos typically begin by mimicking the standard, authentic legal warnings found on old gaming cartridges from companies like Nintendo or Sega. However, as the video progresses, the text and audio gradually glitch, morphing into eerie, deeply threatening, or outright terrifying messages aimed directly at the player. The genre relies heavily on nostalgia, transforming harmless childhood memories into psychological horror by suggesting the game console itself is haunted, sentient, or malicious. Elsagate and Weird Nursery Rhymes outlines a massive and deeply disturbing digital controversy that peaked in the late 2010s involving automated content networks. Independent channels uploaded hundreds of thousands of unsettling, inappropriate, and strangely animated videos that were carefully optimized using keywords to target young children. These videos frequently featured popular, copyrighted cartoon characters engaging in graphic, violent, or completely inappropriate scenarios. By abusing tags and bright imagery, these creators successfully exploited and bypassed the YouTube Kids algorithm, sparking global outrage, massive advertiser boycotts, and a permanent overhaul of how children's content is moderated online. Salad Fingers is a legendary early internet psychological horror flash animation series created by British artist David Firth in 2004. The series follows a thin, green, humanoid creature who inhabits a desolate post-apocalyptic wasteland and speaks in a soft, polite, yet deeply unnerving voice. The character possesses a severe mental detachment from reality and harbors a bizarre, sensory obsession with rubbing metallic objects, most famously rusty spoons, against his skin. Its combination of eerie ambient music, disturbing themes, and surreal dialogue helped it go viral, cementing it as one of the most influential and iconic horror animations in web history. Lost episode creepypasta videos encompasses a massive, foundational genre of internet horror stories, text threads, and fan-made mockumentaries that gained immense popularity in the early 2010s. These urban legends detail fictional, cursed, or deeply depressing episodes of mainstream childhood cartoons and live-action television shows that supposedly aired only once before being permanently banned. The narratives usually involve a production assistant or fan finding a hidden VHS tape or digital file containing hyper-realistic gore or demonic imagery involving beloved characters. This trope spawned a huge wave of fan animations that recreate these fake, lost episodes with eerie precision to scare unsuspecting viewers. DHMIS stands for Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, which is a brilliant and critically acclaimed British puppet-based web series created by Becky Sloan and Joseph Pelling. Each episode begins exactly like a colorful, upbeat children's educational program, complete with catchy songs and enthusiastic puppet characters learning about topics like time, creativity, or technology. However, as the lesson progresses, The environment rapidly descends into existential dread, intense psychological distress, and sudden bursts of graphic, surreal gore. The series is highly celebrated for its complex hidden lore, social commentary on media manipulation, and its masterful ability to subvert innocent children's television tropes into pure nightmare fuel. Smile HD is a viral and highly controversial fan-made Flash animation that shocked the internet when it was released in 2013. The video intentionally utilizes cheerful, brightly colored characters from a widely popular children's pony television franchise, initially tricking viewers into expecting a standard tribute video. Instead, the animation abruptly shifts into a brutally violent, gory fight sequence where the main character brutally attacks her friends in a dark, stylized manner. Set to a deceptively upbeat, energetic pop song, the video went viral specifically because of the jarring, extreme contrast between its cute aesthetic and its graphic, unyielding violence, making it a staple of internet shock culture. I Feel Fantastic is a legendary early YouTube video featuring a blank-faced, feminine android named Tara who sings an eerie, repetitive song in a synthesized voice. The video's uncanny valley aesthetic, combined with strange camera cuts to a desolate backyard, sparked a massive wave of urban legends claiming that the creator was a serial killer who dressed the robot in his victim's clothes. In reality, it was an innocent, albeit deeply unsettling, technological experiment by a builder testing a new animatronic singing system. Petscop is a highly complex, critically acclaimed web series framed as a let's play of an unreleased, fictional PlayStation 1 game. The video series follows a narrator named Paul as he explores a seemingly cute game about capturing pets, which quickly reveals a dark, subterranean underworld filled with cryptic puzzles. The narrative masterfully weaves together themes of psychological trauma and rebirthing therapy, captivating viewers for years with its incredibly intricate lore and ARG elements. Beasts, also known as classic YouTube user Beasts, refers to a series of highly unsettling, low-resolution videos that circulated during the platform's infancy. These short clips featured strange, distorted figures, practical effects monsters, or bizarrely edited home footage that felt deeply out of place among standard uploads of the era. The lack of context surrounding these early videos caused them to be passed around internet forums as mysterious, cursed digital artifacts before being recognized as early indie horror concepts. Local 58 is a foundational analog horror web series created by cartoonist Chris Straub that presents itself as hijacked broadcasts from a fictional public television station. Operating under the call sign WCLS, the videos mimic authentic late-night television programming, emergency alert systems, and meteorological warnings from the late 20th century. The broadcasts gradually descend into cosmic horror, suggesting that an eldritch entity residing within the moon is psychically manipulating and driving the town's population to madness. Hey Walter is a deeply disturbing viral video that many internet sleuths mistakenly linked to a real-life missing person case. The video features a man talking directly to a camera, addressing an unseen friend named Walter, before panning over to reveal a locked door where a girl is heard screaming for help. The clip caused a massive online panic when people believed it showed the actual captivity of a teenager who had disappeared from an American mall years prior, though police investigations eventually confirmed the video was completely fake. Obey the Walrus, originally titled Goddess Bunny, is one of the oldest and most notorious shock videos in internet history. It features edited, heavily distorted and reverse audio footage of Johnny Bama, a transgender underground actress and drag queen who suffered from polio as a child. The video was intentionally re-edited with creepy music by an online user to frighten people, leading to widespread playground rumors that watching the video would curse the viewer's computer or invite supernatural danger into their home. Blank Room Soup is a terrifying, low-quality video that depicts a visibly distressed man sitting at a table eating soup from a bowl with a large wooden spoon. As he eats and begins to openly weep, two costumed mascots with giant, blankly smiling faces emerge from the shadows to comfort him in a deeply unnatural, aggressive manner. This footage sparked intense online speculation, with prominent rumors claiming the man was a kidnapped victim being forced to eat his own family, though it was later revealed to be an unauthorized performance art piece. Username 666 is a classic early YouTube creepy video creepypasta created by Japanese net artist Nana825763. The legend claimed that if a user repeatedly refreshed a specific channel URL under that demonic username, the standard video platform would glitch out, turning into a blood-red, unmoderated hellscape filled with graphic imagery and unplayable files. The accompanying video perfectly simulated this fictional browser corruption, terrifying early internet users who genuinely believed they had successfully hacked into a forbidden, occult version of the website. The Dawn is Your Enemy was a brief, official sign-off bumper aired by the Adult Swim programming block during the mid to late 2000s. The bumper aired at the exact conclusion of the nightly broadcast and featured a static, minimalist illustration of a sun with an aggressive, menacing human face accompanied by an intense, industrial metallic droning noise. Because it aired unannounced in the pitch-black hours of the early morning, it deeply traumatized a generation of young viewers who woke up to its jarring, hostile aesthetic. Teddy Has an Operation is a bizarre, dark comedy art piece uploaded by the creative collective known as Z Frank. The video depicts a stuffed teddy bear being put under anesthesia and undergoing surgical dissection by a team of people wearing medical scrubs. As they cut into the bear, they discover it is filled with realistic, slimy biological organs, meat, and blood rather than standard cotton stuffing. The contrast between the innocent childhood toy and the clinical, graphic, visceral interior made it an early viral hit for viewers seeking surreal body horror. Cat Ghost is a highly stylized, episodic animated web series that blends a cute cartoon aesthetic with dark, heavy psychological horror themes. The narrative follows three anthropomorphic animal characters, Gary, Elon, and Nayan, who find themselves trapped in an ethereal, shifting afterlife world. Each episode was accompanied by an unannounced, downloadable puzzle game hosted on their website that viewers had to solve to unlock cryptic pieces of lore. The series earned a dedicated following for its complex puzzles and its deep exploration of historical witchcraft, trauma, and occult philosophy. Pizza Time Pizza is an intricate, satirical alternate reality game that presents itself as a bizarre commercial training video for a fictional pizza franchise. The series features a highly eccentric, unsettling host who enforces bizarre, cult-like rules for how the employees must make pizza and interact with customers. As viewers dig deeper into the channel's uploads, the corporate facade collapses, revealing a vast, dark narrative involving mind control, ancient deities, and missing persons. The project was eventually revealed to be an elaborate creative horror piece designed by digital artist Alex Bale. Agamemnon Counterpart is a legendary, intensely abstract experimental video created by animator Arthur Freyer that dates back to the early days of online video sharing. The piece consists of heavily distorted, low-resolution footage of vintage cartoons, static noise, flashing lights, and terrifyingly garbled, screeching audio tracks. Because it was uploaded with zero context or explanation, it circulated for years on early internet forums as a supposedly cursed video that had been recovered from a classified government experiment. In reality, it was simply an avant-garde digital art piece experimenting with media corruption. Sitting and Smiling is an ongoing, massive endurance art performance piece created by an artist named Benjamin Bennett. In each video, which regularly lasts for exactly 4 unbroken hours, Bennett sits completely still on the floor cross-legged and stares directly into the camera lens with a faint, unblinking smile. The project gained mainstream notoriety during his 5th broadcast, when an audible home break-in occurred in the background while Bennett chose to remain entirely motionless and smiling. The sheer discipline, lack of context, and intense uncanny valley vibe turned his channel into an internet sensation. Lasagna Cat is an incredibly high-production, surreal comedic tribute series dedicated to Jim Davis's classic newspaper comic strip, Garfield. Created by the media group Fatal Farm, each video begins with a live-action, hyper-faithful recreation of a specific 3-panel comic strip, complete with a laugh track. Immediately after the punchline, the video dissolves into a massive, psychedelic music video or philosophical monologue exploring themes of existential dread, commercialism, and psychological decay. The series is widely considered a masterpiece of internet parody for its absurd scale and brilliant editing. In the video, an older man sits in a dimly lit space, looks directly into the camera lens, and lets out a chilling, maniacal laugh for nearly a minute before the screen cuts to a black slide with text reading, "Happy Anniversary." The sheer timing of the upload and its eerie content caused a massive online panic, leading true crime sleuths and police investigators to suspect that the uploader was either the killer bragging about his crime or an intimate insider with direct knowledge of the case. After a thorough police investigation, the man in the video was identified as Alden Olson. Law enforcement eventually determined that Olson was a deeply eccentric online troll with no actual connection to Maura's disappearance, meaning the video was a cruel, highly disturbing hoax designed to exploit the tragic anniversary. 11BX1371 refers to a highly viral, deeply unsettling cyber mystery video that emerged in 2015. The video features a mysterious figure dressed in a black hooded cloak and a historical plague doctor mask standing inside a decaying, abandoned Polish sanatorium. Throughout the video, the figure gestures cryptically to the camera, while a grating digital white noise soundtrack plays in the background. Internet sleuths discovered that the video's audio and frames contained heavily encrypted text, coordinates to the White House, and a series of complex hidden codes hinting at bioterrorism threats. It was eventually revealed to be an elaborate, highly sophisticated steganographic art project created by a user named Parker Wright. There Is Nothing, also known by its full title, Dining Room or There Is Nothing, is a famous 1-minute surreal short film created by artist David B. Earl. It features a pale, gray-skinned girl sitting at a dining room table with a bowl and spoon, while a fire burns in the background. She speaks backwards, face plants directly into her bowl, and then the entire video runs completely in reverse, revealing her forward message: "There is nothing." The filmmaker intended it as a loop with no true beginning or end, exploring the concept of the afterlife. Daisy Brown is an exceptionally well-crafted, narrative-driven alternate reality game that played out across a dedicated YouTube channel. The channel follows a young woman named Daisy who documents her daily life taking care of a strange, grotesque, and growing biological monster named Alan. As the vlogs progress, the relationship between Daisy and the entity grows increasingly toxic, codependent, and psychologically abusive, hinting at a darker backstory regarding her father's scientific experiments. The series garnered widespread acclaim across horror communities for its fantastic use of physical puppetry, realistic acting, and deep metaphorical storytelling about domestic trauma. This House Has People in It is a brilliant, surreal horror mockumentary, an alternate reality game created by digital artist Alan Resnick for Adult Swim. The main video is framed as a collection of surveillance camera feeds monitoring an ordinary suburban family going about their afternoon routine inside their home. The mundane atmosphere completely shatters when the daughter suddenly begins sinking directly through the solid hardwood living room floor as if it were quicksand, while her family responds with bizarre indifference and clinical detachment. The video served as the entry point to a massive, hidden digital puzzle trail consisting of thousands of secret files, sound clips, and corporate logs detailing a fictional disease known as clay. Possibly in Michigan is a 1983 surrealist musical horror short film directed by Cecilia Condit that achieved a massive cult following decades later on YouTube and TikTok. The narrative follows two women, Sharon and Jill, who are stalked through a pastel-colored, consumerist shopping mall by a shape-shifting, cannibalistic man named Arthur. What makes the piece so deeply memorable and unsettling is its unique combination of cheerful, sing-song operatic dialogue with incredibly dark, violent themes of violence and cannibalism. The film utilizes disjointed editing, dreamlike sequencing, and a hauntingly catchy lo-fi musical score to subvert traditional fairy tale tropes, ultimately culminating in the women turning the tables on their predator. It remains celebrated as a masterpiece of feminist avant-garde horror that perfectly captures a strange, liminal 80s atmosphere. Alan Tutorial is a groundbreaking, slow-burn alternate reality game created by comedian and visual artist Alan Resnick that ran from 2011 to 2014. On the surface, the channel began as a series of genuinely bizarre, poorly filmed tutorial videos where a seemingly innocent, developmentally challenged man named Alan attempts to explain mundane tasks like how to look for a penny or how to drive a car. Over the course of 3 years, the narrative takes a tragic and psychological dark turn as Alan is locked out of his house, kidnapped, and forced by an unseen entity to produce increasingly abstract, frantic instructional videos in an isolated room using garbage and dirt. The project is highly praised by internet historians as a brilliant, immersive commentary on the exploitation of content creators and the isolating nature of early web algorithms. Meat Sleep was an incredibly cryptic and short-lived horror channel that became an absolute sensation within the internet mystery community during the mid-2010s. The channel uploaded dozens of highly distorted, flickering videos featuring eerie night footage, heavy breathing, industrial ambient noise, and cryptic text overlay that seemed to hint at real-world crimes. Because of the frantic editing and the appearance of people seemingly trapped or filmed without their permission, massive internet forums launched investigations fearing the channel was a front for a real-world serial killer or kidnapper. The panic grew so intense that the creators ultimately shut down the project, revealing that it was a highly coordinated, multi-person international art collective utilizing psychological horror elements to see how digital audiences react to a lack of context. Pickle Surprise is a legendary, ultra-campy underground short film directed by Tom Rubnitz in 1989 that found a second life as an early viral shock video on YouTube. The video is a sensory overload of neon colors, hyperkinetic editing, and manic energy featuring iconic New York drag performers, including a young RuPaul and Lady Bunny. The plot revolves around a chaotic cooking show segment where the actors scream absurd catchphrases in high-pitched voices while preparing a bizarre dish, leading to the climactic, shrieking reveal of a pickle. Its inclusion on this layer stems from how deeply jarring and disorienting it felt to unsuspecting early internet browsers who stumbled upon its unhinged, psychotropic energy late at night, without any knowledge of 80s club kid culture. Chez St. John was a deeply influential, avant-garde multimedia art project created by the late filmmaker Eric Fournier that came to define the absolute peak of surreal internet horror. The videos star a fictional, heavily traumatized former supermodel who was severely disfigured in a horrific train accident and reconstructed her body using a plastic mannequin mask and wooden prosthetic limbs. Shay's videos are characterized by frantic, rapid-fire jump cuts, piercing electronic squeals, and manic, repetitive text-to-speech dialogue as she interacts with other doll characters like her pet bird. Beyond the initial intense creepiness, the project is widely respected as a profound, tragic piece of outsider art exploring themes of body dysmorphia, celebrity obsession, and the fractured human psyche using the raw medium of early digital video. Look at the Clown is a notorious internet creepypasta video, presented in the style of an archived, low-budget educational broadcast from the late 20th century. Styled as an experimental psychological child therapy program, the video is intended to be a tool to help children overcome their severe phobias of clowns through exposure therapy. Instead of being comforting, the video subjects the viewer to a slow, agonizing slideshow of increasingly distorted, vintage clown photographs, accompanied by an incredibly unsettling, backwards-looping audio track. A robotic, emotionless text-to-speech voice demands that the viewer continuously stare at the screen, and the tension peaks with sudden, subtle hints that a child involved in the program has gone missing, transforming a bizarre artifact into a classic piece of internet horror lore. Robert Helpman is a highly atmospheric and narrative-driven internet horror channel that began uploading incredibly quiet, deeply disturbing videos in the early years of YouTube. Named after the famous Australian actor, the channel consists of silent, fixed-camera footage of an enigmatic individual performing mundane household activities while living with what strongly appears to be a wrapped, decaying human corpse named Daisy. The videos are agonizingly slow, focusing on the meticulous, quiet care the protagonist gives to the hidden figure, which led millions of viewers to speculate if they were witnessing an actual crime or a real case of severe post-mortem psychosis. The channel was eventually recognized as a highly sophisticated independent film project that mastered the art of minimalist visual storytelling to evoke pure dread. Poochie and Pansy is a classic, early internet alternate reality game disguised as a harmless, poorly animated children's cartoon about two colorful puppies embarking on a quest to rescue a trapped kitten. The bright, elementary aesthetic quickly fractures as individual episodes become overridden by intense digital corruption, sudden loud jump scares, and deeply cryptic red text flashing across the screen. While the project initially caused panic among early internet forums due to its eerie, hidden imagery, it is highly regarded today as a nostalgic, pioneering example of online analog horror storytelling. Plastic Men is a deeply surreal and minimalist avant-garde video uploaded by the elusive content creator, known online as Treats for Beasts. The visual presentation features a crude, heavily distorted digital entity that rhythmically shifts shape, while a robotic, text-to-speech voice repeats a deeply unsettling and vulnerable monologue on a continuous loop. The character rhythmically chants phrases regarding entity shapes wishing to touch its exposed spine and expressing shame over its physical form, creating a claustrophobic, hypnotic atmosphere that acts as a profound exploration of bodily dissociation and existential dread. Poco Poco Shopping is a deeply disturbing psychological horror animation created by the legendary Japanese multimedia artist known as Nana825763, who famously created the classic username 666 virus video. The video is framed as a direct parody of late-night Japanese television shopping channels, utilizing upbeat, repetitive corporate background music and seemingly cute cartoon characters. The bright marketing facade completely deteriorates as the infomercial hosts begin joyfully advertising horrific items, including poison pacifiers and freshly harvested internal organs, before the entire visual frame descends into a chaotic, blood-soaked sensory nightmare. The Maker is a highly acclaimed, beautifully constructed stop-motion animated short film produced by Zealous Creative that earned widespread praise across international film festivals before finding a massive audience on YouTube. The narrative centers on a strange, rabbit-like plush creature racing against a rapidly draining hourglass to meticulously construct a companion out of clay and yarn before his own lifespan expires. While the creature's oversized, unblinking glass eyes and the frantic, desperate packing initially strike viewers as highly uncanny or unsettling, the film ultimately unfolds into a deeply moving, bittersweet allegory about mortality, art, and the cyclical nature of life. Cameraheads is a highly elusive, legendary internet creepypasta that originated on paranormal discussion forums during the summer of 2009. The original narrative chronicled a user who discovered a mysterious package containing a cassette tape detailing a writer's terrifying encounter with an unearthly, humanoid entity possessing a mechanical camera lens for a head. Because the original forum threads and multimedia clips were largely lost to time, the mystery surrounding the project grew immensely, transforming it into a celebrated piece of internet lost media that heavily influenced the development of modern urban legend fiction. Grave Robbing for Morons is a notorious, heavily bootlegged video artifact from the late 20th century that circulated within underground tape trading circles before being uploaded to early streaming platforms. The video features a heavily masked, anonymous young man speaking directly to a handheld camera, casually demonstrating the illicit tools and methods required to illegally exhume human remains from cemeteries. Due to the individual's frantic demeanor and the display of a real, physical human skull, the footage sparked massive criminal investigations before internet historians largely concluded it was an elaborate, highly edgy dark comedy hoax or a shock art piece. Plasma Mastodon was an early YouTube channel run by an elderly man named Donzel Edward Owens Jr., known to his followers as Donald. For years, casual internet browsers viewed him as a wholesome internet novelty due to his extensive library of webcam videos. He garnered over 400,000 subscribers by recording passionate, unfiltered covers of popular pop, rock, and Eurodance songs. Following a battle with cancer, he passed away in late 2020, prompting initial outpourings of grief from his community. However, the dark reality behind his placement at the bottom of the iceberg was uncovered by online researchers who investigated his real-world identity. Legal documentation confirmed that he was a registered sex offender who had been criminally convicted of sexual imposition involving a minor. This disturbing discovery completely shifted the internet's perception of his legacy. His entry serves as a stark warning about the massive disconnect that can exist between a creator's public, beloved digital persona and their real-world criminal background. Mr. Sleepy People was a deeply unsettling, highly active YouTube channel that posted thousands of extremely brief videos of people seemingly caught sleeping or passing out in public or domestic environments. While internet communities heavily speculated that the footage was connected to illicit drugging, human trafficking, or stalking, the truth is that the channel was run by an individual with a highly specific, non-consensual fetish for watching people sleep. The creator scraped public webcasts, home security streams, and social media feeds without permission to build a massive, invasive database before the channel was banned for violating safety guidelines. Mondo films or shockumentaries refers to an exploitative genre of cinema that serves as a direct predecessor to real-world internet gore sites. Unlike standard documentaries, these graphic films purposefully blurred the line between fact and fiction by presenting genuine, unedited footage of real human deaths, fatal accidents, and executions alongside staged hoaxes for pure profit and shock value. Their placement at the bottom of the iceberg highlights how early video sharing networks were heavily used to traffic bootlegged copies of these highly graphic historical films before modern algorithms were implemented. Monkey hate is a dark and well-documented psychological phenomenon involving a highly coordinated global network of individuals who actively participate in the systemic abuse of baby macaques. Deeper investigations by international journalists revealed that this went far beyond mean text comments. Viewers were joining private online chat groups to explicitly commission, fund, and direct handlers in developing nations to torture and kill infant monkeys on camera for digital entertainment. Major tech platforms and international law enforcement agencies had to launch massive operations to infiltrate these networks and dismantle the digital distribution pipelines. Mr. Anime was the online username of Trey Eric Sessler, a prominent early anime reviewer who brutally murdered his entire immediate family in March of 2012. Shortly before committing the crimes, his public videos underwent a highly alarming shift as he abandoned his standard pop culture content to post deeply unhinged manifestos, record himself shooting firearms in his yard, and explicitly grade his own progression toward becoming a mass killer. He weaponized his channel to archive his psychological descent before fatally shooting his mother, father, and brother inside their home, resulting in his lifelong imprisonment and the permanent termination of his platform. Fake animal rescue is a widespread, highly abusive underground industry where content creators deliberately torture stray animals solely to film their subsequent rescue for massive ad revenue. Rather than discovering animals in natural predicaments, operators intentionally trap dogs in deep mud, tie cats to active railroad tracks, or place helpless puppies near apex predators like large pythons to create artificial tension. Many exposed channels were found to be using the exact same animals in rotating setups, subjecting the same pets to continuous, life-threatening trauma for clicks before global policy overhauls completely banned the practice. Literally Just Straight Gore on YouTube is a direct historical reference to the severe content moderation failures of the early platform during the mid-2010s. Before automated machine learning filters were sophisticated enough to scan incoming video files instantly, malicious users frequently bypassed safety protocols by embedding real-world executions, fatal car crashes, and gruesome cartel violence directly into innocent uploads. These explicit clips were often hidden behind harmless children's thumbnails, unrelated search tags, or nested deep within lengthy video compilations, exposing millions of unsuspecting viewers to severe trauma before the platform established strict human-in-the-loop review teams. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and also comment if I got anything wrong. If you are new here, please subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.